Thank you. How are you going, Carol?
Oh, well, good now. Yes.
Thank you
Lovely.
for taking the time to have an interview about the Igniting Your Purpose coaching sessions that we've been doing. By doing this interview, it provides me with valuable insights to the effectiveness and the impact of my program. So can I ask you some questions that could help me to gather a more comprehensive understanding of your experience?
Yes, just one thing. Right behind your shoulder, there is a piece of light coming straight into my eyeball, and it's giving me a migraine. So if we could just, right, still there. That's better. Yeah, that's much better. Whew, that was getting very concentrated
I think it's from the
on
sink.
my, yeah, from behind the sink. Yeah, that's better. Good.
Great.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so question one, can you briefly describe your life? So briefly describe your life and situation of what was going on just before joining the Ignite Your Purpose coaching sessions.
Oh, well, that's pretty easy. I didn't really have a purpose. I was just coming out of COVID and starting to pull my finger out and get myself out into the wide world again. Because the COVID thing sort of knocked me about. And I did the turtle in the shell thing, and I just went quite introverted. But at the same time, I've never been good in my own company, probably. So it taught me how to just be relaxed and happy with toddling and pottering around with myself. So it wasn't a huge discomfort, or whatever the word is. But I was just starting to get out when you contacted me about doing this. And it was quite eye-opening, heart-opening, just about the opening up thing. And then I think some of my fear got hold of me, and then some ill health stuff came in with it. But it's about opening and trying not to close that door, but trying to look through that door to find out what we can fix that's in there that I had thought I'd possibly had fixed in the past, but now I need to have a do-over and fix some of those things for the long term, and not, oh yeah, because I like to do things quick, on a quick fix situation. You can fix the universe with duct tape and blue tack. I think that's what Mythbusters say. So I might have been doing some quick fixes with the healings instead of the in-depth stuff, which is what I'm now looking at, going more in-depth.
Okay.
That was not a quick answer, was it?
It doesn't matter what kind of answer it is. It's wonderful that you're, really diving in and finding out the reasons why, and also the reason of what was going on beforehand. Were you feeling stuck in any way, or did you ask for something to come along?
I was looking at stuff moving very quickly around me and thinking, I'm not on the same speed as other people, and I don't have the same I don't have a lot of the interests of a lot of other people that I've been meeting. And I just thought, well, that just leaves me on the outer a little bit. But there wasn't a pathway that I was interested in jumping on, or a travelator, if you will, that I thought, oh yeah, this will take me to where I think I'm going. So I was looking for a road that took me over a bridge that I've been trying to get over for a long time. And this is the pathway, because I was probably what's it called? Treading water for a long time.
Thank you.
So
So question 2, what do you think motivated you to, sign up and go for this Ignite Your Purpose program? What motivated you?
I was sick of being stuck. And I could see and feel the energy around was going to, I knew this was the right modality to take me to where I needed to go. So
Good.
just join you on this ride of the unknown, but also the known, if that's, because there was a knowing in there that things were going to happen, are going to happen quickly and going to get us to where we need to be.
Yeah. So you felt comfortable in a way like of trust to.
No, I was kicking and screaming on the inside. I only looked like I knew what I was doing on the outside. But yeah, the kicking and screaming part kind of like left a few dints. But, you know, they're going to be resolved. So that'll be fine.
So question 3 is, did you have any specific goals or expectations when you first started the coaching sessions?
Just to find peace of mind, inner serenity, inner peace had become a bit of a call sign for me. And letting go, because so full of anger, I could just feel all the anger brimming away. I couldn't put a label on exactly where it's come from, but it's just built up over the years and turned into quite a little monster, actually. But then I just thought, yeah, I'll just accept that this is going to be quite the learning experience. And the allowing, I had to step back and allow the things to proceed at their own pace, because I really didn't have a level of control over some of the ethereal, is that the right word? The outside inside stuff that's part of me, part of us, but not really controllable. So yeah, it's all starting to flow.
I remember you saying that there was also another particular goal that you wanted to reach before turning up.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
What what did you want?
just to be relaxed. Oh, to be fitter and healthier and be able to relax and let go of all the old stuff, the
Yeah.
old thinking, stuff that's been holding me back. I know it's been holding me back, but I haven't found quite the release to let it go. So we're working on the allowing and the releasing.
So
And there's a lot of crystals incoming. So that's, you know,
part of the process.
that's playing, isn't it?
So question 4 is, how would you describe your experience with the initial assessment of the or discovery process in the coaching program? So those first, couple 2 to 3 weeks, describe your experience.
I think there's 2 absolute major breakthroughs that we had, where I was able to let go of some definite old thinking and find a way through of letting go of and healing that past, and to put I to put my finger on it, like the last one was from 31 years of build up of pretense rather than authentic. So I wanted to be more authentic, and I was just allowing other people's opinions to rule my life. And in the last couple of weeks, it's come to my attention that I've been confronted with people who now I look and thought, well, that's the way they want to live their life. That's not how I'm going to choose to live my life. And it's not how I've ever chosen to live my life. So I'm obviously different from them. And that's fine. It doesn't mean they're lesser or more than me. But I no longer, I was judging, but I was judging me as comparing myself to what they were saying about their rules for living their life. And they had definite rules. And this was 2 people with very strong similarities. And I just thought, I don't really need to take that on. I don't really need to put up with it. So all I need to just say is, well, that's wonderful how you've chosen to live your life. That's not my take on it, but, each to their own. And I'm happy for whatever involvement we have. And if it's not that I'm not accepting her. If I'm putting up any barriers to what she perceives as barriers, then, you know, if it falls by the wayside, it falls by the wayside, because these are the things to learn. Not everybody's going to be part of your crew. Not everybody's going to be part of your clan. Not everybody's going to fit into the jigsaw puzzle that is your life. And because we're all a work in progress, and it's just trying to make the best step forward that we can. And if they come along for the ride, that's fine. And if they don't, so be it.
Good.
I can't even remember what the first breakthrough was, but I know there was lots of tears and lots of crying. But whatever I let go of, I must let go of it really well, because I can't really remember it. Lucky you recorded it, because otherwise my brain would go, that's gone now. So
And that's
we're
good.
over that.
It means that you're excelling on
I have definitely let go of it, because I definitely let go of it because I can't remember it.
So that also
helpful.
that leads me to the next question, which is, what ways, so think of ways, with the Ignite Your Purpose coaching sessions, how have they impacted your understanding of your own purpose and goals?
Oh, well, I think I hadn't fully lost connection to what all the things that I used to love, like doing foot massage was, I love feet. I really love feet. But my health wasn't, it's really hard. I'm not getting down on my knees to do anybody's feet, but there's ways around that. So doing, whereas, massage was never my thing, but feet always were. All the crystals, they've come back with a bang, because I've just gone a bit hysterical with crystals, to be honest. Might need to pull my reins in a little bit, but I like them. And I'm creating stuff with them, like vortexes, and using them to clear my path, clear my way. And then the channeling stuff, which I have always had, and the shocking headache I've had for 6 years, because I've tried to stop it coming through, and now it's just coming through more and more. I knew there would be a way to get rid of the headaches, because I knew I was creating them, but I couldn't quite find that way through. But by opening up this, and you're telling me I need to write it down and I need to get this story going, then much more creative, because I've just been stagnant for a very long time. And now I'm creating stories in my head, where it doesn't matter where they go. But I think it's for the benefit of the community in general, and myself specifically. And this has been a huge improvement.
It has.
I get a little bit excited about it, and I try to tell people, and people who are not on the same wavelength just roll their eyes. But then I'm used to people rolling their eyes, so it's not really any different, except that I'm much happier with who I am and what I'm doing.
And
even though it might not be important to others, it's important to me.
And that is the true purpose of doing these sessions as well. So I know that you've already shared some moments already when it comes to, some of the sessions that we've had. But when I say this next question, there might be a memory that comes. So just talk about that. And this question 6. So can you, share a particular moment that might come to your mind, or a session that was especially transformative for you?
Oh, well, now my memory's coming back, isn't it? It's going to be when my sister died. Oh, yeah. How could I forget that? Jeez. Huh. I had a thought, and it was deeply impregnated into my brain, that at the age of 9 months old, I believe I heard someone say to my mother at my 9 months old. Oh, no, she wasn't. I was 9 months old, and my sister was 3, and she died in 1956 from, starts with P, pneumonia. And obviously the family was devastated. As at 9 months old, I believe I heard somebody say to my mother, wouldn't you rather that it was Carol that died rather than Fiona, because you haven't known her as long? She hasn't been in your life as long, which from anyone who's ever been a parent is just the biggest bullshit ever. And I'm pretty sure my mum would have given a very short shift, because she wouldn't have put up with that crap, because she was already in a lot of pain. She doesn't need anything more. But I have no memory of what happened around it. But that particular sentence went so deep into my skull. And so I spent my whole life trying to be the jester, make people happy, make people laugh. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because, you know, I'm a born comedian, really. But I think God and the universe love laughing and joking and stuff. And if the joke is that I honestly am one of the biggest klutzes ever on the face of this planet. I can do the Dutch licorice thing I was talking to somebody about Dutch licorice the other day, and I had some Dutch licorice one night, and before I went to bed, I've got a plate because my best friend punched me in the mouth. That's another great story. And when you put your denture in, you've got a little clasp. Well, after having the Dutch licorice, I couldn't get the denture out. So I'm pulling. It's midnight. I'm tugging and tugging. I worked at the dentist, which was great. Tugging and tugging. Boom. The hook came out, went in through the inside of my lip and out, and then back in again, and was completely crochet hooked into my upper lip. And I went, oh, not as painful as you'd think, but to try and get it out, and then still Dutch licorice everywhere. So I took it out, cleaned the teeth, brushed my teeth, put it away. Midnight, I woke up. I had to go to work at 9 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, when I'm getting ready, my lip was huge and fat and out here, and it was humongous. And I took a photo of it, put it on Facebook. My sister used it in my 60th birthday collaboration. And I thought, what'd you do that for? And because I always put stuff on my calamities all on Facebook. And I went to work, and because I work at the dentist, they said, oh, we'll fix that for you. The dentist couldn't believe the amount of pus that came out of my lip. And he said, when did you do it? I said, just before I went to bed. And he goes, how did these things happen to you, Carol? I said, that's it. I don't. Just lucky, I guess. He said, I've never seen anything like this. And he's been a dentist for 40 years, but he had great fun squeezing out all the pus. And he says, you want to look at this? I said, no, not at all, not at all. But the fat lip and then the story are great, because I don't associate it with any great level of pain. So it wasn't tragic. It wasn't everlasting. It was just something weird that happened to me. And there is lots and lots and lots of weird things. And they're incredibly funny now, at the time. But the thing with what was said about me being a baby, I held that for until just recently. So that's 68 years, just about, that, or 67 and a half, we'll say, that I held on to that thought about my worth to my family. I'm the joker. Yep, every family's got to have one. But there was hurt in there, and the tears that we released during that particular session had been there for 60 years, and they were very, very deep. And that scar, and I'm going to say it was a scar, it was deep in my brain, and I didn't really know that it was there. Or that it was that important. Put it in the too hard basket, buried it, and hadn't dealt with it. So now it's been dealt with, to the stack that 5 minutes ago I couldn't even remember what it was. But now I remember, and now I do think that we have fully recovered from it was a stupid incident, and it was just something crazy that I held on to for all my crazy life. But that's okay. I don't mind being crazy. I'm happy to be crazy because I don't want to be one of the normals, because the normals are quite frightening. The
Thank
normals
you.
can be very frightening.
This is
Yeah.
true. So the next one, question 7, is how do you feel the coaching sessions have influenced your decision making? So decision making on daily actions.
Oh, well, um, because I got quite sick and had some really weird stuff happening to my body, I allowed the medical authorities and people who know what they're doing to guide me. And then as of last Tuesday, I completely jacked up, pulled the pin on every single medication I was taking, except one. And whatever that was causing, whatever treatment they were saying, because I was getting 2 different sides. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to listen to myself. So I listened to myself, and I used natural healing things. I used crystals. I used meditation to get to what I think is the core of my issue. And so I've taken my power back, because I was feeling so run down by all of this constant medical stuff. And then I thought, I'm going to go without all of their assistance for a week, and I go back to my doctor tomorrow. And I think that my situation has improved, and that I won't need any further surgical intervention or whatever, because we do need medicos, we do need all this help, as much help as we can possibly get, but we shouldn't take it. We should get second opinions. And my second opinion was from me, and it said, pull the pin on all that crap, Carol. And so I did.
So
And
that
I've had a pretty good week, health wise, and things are they've hit a plateau and they're staying there. And I thought, well, I can live with where I am now, but I expect it to get better.
And so that shows me that, you're using the truth of what your body is telling you and going with what your heart says. So that connection is back from, mind to body, or even spirit to body as well, which means you're taking action on your direction as well. So the next question flows into that with, what tools, strategies, or exercises, from the coaching program, do you find yourself doing most frequently? And that is that listening? What might that be?
Well, some of the breakthroughs that we have made have allowed me to see things more clearly.
Yep.
To I might be a little self-delusionary, if that's a word, who knows? But my greatest I've got 2 really good memes, and one of them is, somebody told me I was delusional. I nearly fell off my unicorn. I like unicorns. I don't care. I'm happy to be delusional, but self-delusional it's just a trick that I've played on myself for a long time. So now that we're looking at the authentic, especially in the last week or so, I've been able to let go of the fabrications. The excuses. Look, best excuse maker. I could write a book. What was that TV show? Hey Dad. Mr. Kelly, I'm sorry I'm late because, and I had them, but they were real. They had happened to me, and I went to work late every day for 8 years at the bank, and I said to the boss, I'm sorry I'm late. He goes, we expected, Carol. And I said, but I worked late. I didn't ever diddle them out of hours. I always worked late. But the being punctual and on time has never been a forte of mine, but I'm so much better at it now. And to value other people's time is really important. And I hadn't looked at that as being disrespectful, because, weird stuff happens in my life, and weird stuff, you know, if you have a genuine reason for being late for something, then you have a genuine whatever I just said, take my teeth out, start again. A genuine reason, and things happen in life, and you can't always be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So you've got to be able to adjust and reset your stuff without getting judgment and animosity in there. And I don't think I've ever in my life been able to do that. Whereas now I'm resetting some boundaries and I'm looking at things differently. So the thinking is it's sinking in, and I'm utilizing this new access that I have to clearer, concise information.
Lovely.
Or information.
And that, you know, follows on to the next question. It's like you're skipping ahead of me. Not that you are, it's flowing on. And it's about, you know, have you noticed any changes in your personal relationships since, you know, starting these coaching sessions? And you kind of touched on that earlier.
Well, it's really funny because I don't have the same mindset as a lot of the people around me, and I don't have the same mindset as my immediate family, but we have this fabulous connection of being the most annoying people to one another on the planet, and we just put that little finger in there and we poke the bear as often as we can, and we just like to stir up trouble. But the underneath of it has been shown to me recent from my family's behaviour. I'm getting older, but they're more caring of me now, and they're looking after me and encouraging me. And I got an invite to dinner tonight, but I already had an invite to dinner, so you know. And I said, well, we'll just have to see if we can fit you in my calendar, because my life is filling up with stuff, which, you know, people are just so used to me being home and popping in and doing, you know, and me being able to help them whenever. And I don't mind helping people when I can, but if I've prioritized my life, then I need to put me first, and I'm doing that. And they're quite willing, my family are quite willing to accept that, and they're quite happy that I'm busy. But then I think they're also learning to miss me a little bit. And I thought, oh, well, that's nice too. And said, oh, well, we were going to come and do this with you. I said, oh, well, you don't have to now. But they are looking after my welfare, sort of in the background. I'm noticing more of that. So I'm trying to not be as stubborn and digging my heels in. Oh, no, it's all right. You know, it's all right. No, because I do appreciate the help.
Yeah.
And so my granddaughter helped me yesterday because my son made her. And then we went and had lunch, and we bought books. She bought a book. I bought a book. She bought some chocolates. We bought some donuts, and we came home. So we had a good day. Bit of cleaning, bit of, what do you call it? Buying frenzy stuff.
Retail therapy.
Yeah, retail therapy, and then a bit of stuffing our faces with donuts.
So what
all good things.
Would you say that there has been any challenges or obstacles that you've, you know, encountered during the coaching that you've at all?
Well, I would say early on, I was so excited to join you in whatever adventures that you're going on, but this has just, it came along, and you just have so much confidence. You're just so out there, and you've always been a Zoomer, and you've always just gone and so encouraging and doing stuff. And I'm going, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. What the fuck? Oh, yeah. And then my body's going, what the hell are you doing, Carol? Trotting along, doing stuff. Yeah. Holy crap. And then the fear came with such abundance that it's just like every fear I ever had of everything I've ever feared just came woof. And it's like I had a blackout. And I lost my connection to me because of this fear. But then we kept plodding on, and you stepped back a little bit and allowed me to do whatever it was that I needed to do. And I pulled myself back together and realised that it was fear-based stuff. But I would say this is fear-based stuff from millennia. This isn't just this lifetime. is from quite a few lifetimes ago, especially because I reckon there's some vagus nerve connection. Oh, it's like the Wi-Fi, because I've just tried to fix the Wi-Fi today. If I move my hands, am I losing you? So we haven't had a freeze, have we?
Well, a
So I've
little
got the new
bit.
Wi-Fi going. Oh,
We've had a little bit.
yeah. So from my perspective, it's like that. I had it zit, zit, zit happened. And by bringing the fear up and then looking at it and then putting it back in its box, well, not putting, no, because you can't put things back in your box. You've got to set them free. So by working through a process that worked for me and then worked for us to tag team the fear, and then when we got through that issue with about my sister's death, and then the other week we got through that issue of when I moved here 31 years ago, and the other people's opinions that took over everything that I had envisioned that I wanted to do. Basically, I collected lots of things. I immediately fell into meditation. I immediately fell into playing with the crystals, doing reflexology, and then a spiritual healing was massive through the meditation. And all of these things, everything, every single thing I picked up, starting to having an armory of quivers in my quiver. It's full of bows. So all the bows I have been tools that I along the way. And I would if had the idea that I originally had. So I had to step and things, and join in, enjoy learning from them. And I was just a massive sponge. I just, as you do, when you find something that ignites your passion and you're very excited about it, because it's not just about one thing. It's the tarot is this, or aromatherapy, or whatever it is you've picked up along the way. These are all things that you utilize to create your particular modality for your particular way of sharing and healing with others. The things that you can use, tools that you can use to help other people and yourself. So yeah.
Okay.
That's what
I'm gonna ask
broke through the barrier.
I'm losing you a little, so we've got to be conscious of that as well. So I think I got most of that, which is good. In one word, what is the most, so one, I don't know, maybe it can be strung together 2 or 3 words, but what is the most valuable lesson or takeaway you've gained so far in the program?
Self-worth.
Thank you. Now, the next one is, do you think that the coaching program has been tailored to a great, to a wonderful approach that fits your individual needs and circumstances?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you've already talked about, an example of a goal you've achieved, and you've talked about all your significant change that you've made as a result of the coaching. But how would you rate the overall quality of coaching sessions and aspects that stand out as particularly effective? Or is there anything that you might, know that might need improvement?
I'm going to, oh, you want one word for
No,
that?
no, it can be a little.
Yeah. I think that my fear issues rearing their ugly head, sort of put the brakes on a little bit, because I would have been happier to have gone full steam ahead with everything. But obviously that part of me, that fear issue part of me, wasn't ready. And now that I am ready, I am, I might not be as fast as you. Well, verbally, of course, that's a given. I'm faster than most people. But the mouth and the brain, they're not always connected. One has a life of its own. But I appreciate there are not too many people who can mentally keep up with me anyway, because I tend to jump and my brain glitches and then I jump ahead. But you are one of the few people who has always been able to mentally keep up with me in any conversation about anything. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you hanging in there to support me while I had my little fear glitchy business, and that we're now back on track for further improvements.
Yeah. And so you're happy with the progress of coaching sessions weekly, and what was that?
Been braver, I probably would have liked to go all gun ho and had a couple a week, but I'm glad. I don't think, obviously, I wasn't as brave as I thought I was. Or maybe I wasn't as brave as you thought I was.
Oh, I had no judgment.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just, as long as we've got the flexibility that people are going to do what they need to do in their own time, and as long as it's open and flexible around that, because shit happens.
Yeah, it does. And can you
and shit hits the fan, especially around me.
can you tell me, would you recommend, the Ignite Your Purpose coaching sessions or any sessions for other people to do in the future?
I think when people are ready to look into themselves and to get help to access their thriving and striving abilities and to put them on track, then I don't think there's anybody better to help them on that path.
Thank you kindly for that as well. And do you know, or do you have any plans for maintaining and building upon the progress that we're already doing, that you've already made in the coaching program? Sorry. Have you got any, more plans for maintaining?
Well, I think once the well of creativity has been opened, it's pretty hard to put the lid back on it. So there's a lot of writing stuff coming through. I think I always wanted to write, but I didn't want to write what it is that I'm writing now. So it's just open slather on, let's get Carol to write some more stuff. And I think I've got enough hours in the day now to do all the things I've created in my life to give my life the purpose that I wanted. But now I've got the creative purpose and I've got the fun. Oh, about the balance. So you've got to have the fun and you've got to have the work. But I don't consider this work. It's shoving your head in a bunch of crystals has an amazing effect. And it's so much fun to play with them. But what it creates is such a healing vortex. And then you get to write about it and people come. It's overflowing. This stuff's just flowing out of me. So, well, bullshit's been flowing out of me for a long, long time. So now it's very interesting stuff that will hopefully help others along their way.
Yeah, and we know that it will. And, igniting your purpose and opening you up to remember is basically what we have been doing.
Yeah.
And of course, healing and getting rid of old belief patterns. So how do you envision your future now as you continue, doing the Ignite Your Purpose coaching sessions?
Well, that song's coming through, Something Unstoppable. I don't know where that came from. Just unstoppable. It's a song. It's from somewhere. And I think so. I can't go back to who I was. And I never wanted to be a poor me. But I'm like all old people. All our aches and pains are great stories. And they ignite laughter. but they also ignite really. Just recently, I had a good talk about elderly female health problems that are just shoved aside, and people aren't researching or getting into them, and we're being, oh, it's just your age and all that sort of thing. And then you get with a group of people, similar age group, and you discuss it, and then you find different things that they've cleared up with their health. And I just think that's a really good thing to talk about in a more open forum, to have things not shoved under it's your age or whatever, to have things exposed to the light so that they can be treated with respect, and people can feel happier about the progress that they make in their own healing journey. So I think that that's something I'd like to open up.
Yeah, it sounds like something great to explore. And with this, new or the pathway that we're now on, it's opening up possibilities. And it's remembering things and using all the things that you've done with your life to open up basically an adventure.
Yeah.
And I
Being
would
more adventurous with everything is where the possibilities are.
Yeah, and I would also go down the fact that, you're saying you can't go back to things and you can't put a lid on it. And that's because we've done something that's a transformative process, because you can change things and you know how to change things, and you go, I'm going to change that, and you do it for a little while, but you revert back to doing what you were always doing before you changed it. Because we can have the ability to change, but we also have the ability to go back to what you know and what you feel comfortable doing. And that's change. And I'm not here to create change in a person's life. I'm here to transform a person's life. And so the transformative process that I've already seen you go through up to this point is that you can already feel and know and see that you can't go back to what you was, because you've transformed. Because in transformation, there's no possible way of going back to change.
Hey, good.
And do you agree with that?
Yeah, you don't want to be going backwards. It's about stepping forwards. And I may have been stepping forwards in doing my own research and stuff before I got onto the program, in just like steps and stuff, but I still was trying to go. Yeah, as with everything on that, we're not going backwards anymore. We're only going forwards.
Yeah. So there's no 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward, or 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It's a continual path. So what I'd like to do here, Carol, is thank you very much for your time and answering the questions so wonderfully, beautifully, honestly, and with love. And I'd like to leave it there and say goodbye.
Okay. All right then. Very good. Thank you, Dale. That's
Thank you.
beautiful.